Welcome to Find Joy with Joyan podcast. I am your host, the confidence and visibility queen, Joyan Chan. I am a self-made entrepreneur who went from a nobody to receiving an outstanding leadership award on stage in Dubai and named as a successful person in my home country and speaking on stages all over the world, both virtually and in person. Now, I am on a mission to share what I have learned and what I have done to build my brand and business from scratch and to empower other coaches, leaders, and entrepreneurs do the same to help you build your confidence, visibility, and authority to make an impact in the world with the meaningful work that you do. Whether you are new to the business world or feeling unsure about public visibility, or you want to be seen and heard in a way that doesn't feel icky but authentic to you, my signature mentorship program, Confident Visibility and Authority Accelerator, is designed to help coaches, consultants, leaders, entrepreneurs, aspiring speakers to overcome visibility fear, to confidently brand themselves and set themselves up as the authority in their industry. You will learn my tested roadmap that is not one size fits all, that supports many business models so you can become visible in the world in your own unique way and show up as the confident entrepreneur you have always dreamed about becoming. Our mentorship weaves together personal development, alignment practices, and modern business strategies. You will do the inner work, strategic development work, energetic work, and get implementation support to clear any blocks in order to up-level your visibility, confidence, and authority to work with more clients and to attract more opportunities. To learn more about the program and see if you are a perfect fit, visit the link www.joyanchan.com/CVAA. Again, that is www.joyanchan.co/CVAA. You can also find the link in the show note below. And every Wednesdays, we are giving you access to the world's best and brightest minds of business in their fields on our show every Wednesday. Listen in as these leaders impart their wisdoms, inspiration, and stories to empower you to live and lead a life with joy. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. This episode is sponsored by Get the Law of Attraction. If you have been listening to this podcast, you will know that I am a big believer of the universe and the law of attraction. Get the Law of Attraction is a spiritual and inspirational company that gives you something really good like chocolate chip cookies to feed your soul and your mind every single day. They provide daily Instagram posts and reels on the universe, gratitude, spirituality for your headache life. They also have an educational course on the Law of Attraction and Gratitude Journal, and their links are in the show note below. Go to their website and use promo code Joyan, Joyan, when you sign up to get $25 off. Hello, welcome back to another solo episode on Find Joy with Joyan, which means it's another new month, and now that it's already April, we have officially stepped into the second quarter of 2023. How is it going for you so far? Are you still working on your goals for this year? Are you still creating the life you want to live? Or have you been distracted and fallen off track? Whatever it is for you, I hope this episode will serve as a little pick-me-up so you can have the courage and confidence to continue working on yourself, keep showing up for yourself, keep showing up for the life that you truly desire, keep building the business, keep improving your relationship, and focusing on what truly matters to you. I know I needed to hear this lately, and I'm always open and vulnerable with my dearest listeners who comes back to listen every week to learn and grow. And in case nobody says this to you today, just want to let you know that I love you and I appreciate you. So like I said, I needed this pick me up lately because I have been feeling down and just not feeling like myself. And here's the thing. People always ask me, Joanne, how do you stay positive all the time? No, I'm not positive all the time. Just because I'm a coach and speaker and podcaster doesn't mean that I am always positive 24/7. It's just not realistic, right? And if I set a high of an expectation of myself and demand myself to be positive all the time, I will only have mental breakdown. So you don't have to try so hard to stay positive all the time. What you really need to do is to allow yourself to feel and process every single emotion, every single event, and that is true healing. So the question is, how do you show up for yourself even when you don't feel like it? When you feel down, when you feel depressed, when you feel uninspired? Because on this journey, we all have to pivot, to persist, or feel doubt about something, whether it's a decision that we're going to make, or something new that we're going to do, or an idea that pops into our mind. Like I was thinking of starting a second podcast, I know it's crazy. It begins with you showing up for yourself, which is why in this episode, this is what I want to talk about. And you hear me talk about showing up a lot, and it's a big part of my work and what I help my clients do. So what does showing up really mean? Showing up for yourself can look different to each person, and it might even change over time, but it's just basically another way of loving yourself, honoring yourself, and being your own biggest supporter, your own best friend, instead of your own worst enemy. So I want to share with you the 3 biggest ways, the 3 most important things that you need to do to show up for yourself during period of uncertainties, periods and change and challenging times, or you feel like, you could never change, life will never change, and nothing will ever work out for you. You have to catch yourself before you fall deeper into the vicious cycle of negative self-talk, fear, and downward spiral. Come back and listen to this episode. First, you have to stop being so hard on yourself and tell me about it. Sometimes the person you have to forgive is not your ex-partner, is not your parent, is not a family member or an old friend or someone else who might have hurt you in some shape or form, but the person you have to forgive is the person you see in the mirror every day. Self-forgiveness can be a daily struggle. I know, because believe me, because as a recovering perfectionist, a high achiever, and someone who is super hard on herself, I often get upset at myself for feeling uninspired, which is what happened to me these days, failing to reach a milestone or not knowing something sooner. But the truth is, we are just not going to get it right every single time. And it's unrealistic to expect ourselves to get it right every single time. Because whether you are launching a new business or a new product, or in the process of growing your business, building your business, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to experience failure from time to time. It's inevitable. But how will it affect you is your choice. Is it going to take a toll on you? Is it going to stop you? Do you find yourself saying to yourself, there's no way this will work, it's impossible, I totally suck at this? Stop being so hard on yourself. You need to recognize when you're being hard on yourself so you can kill negative thinking and turn it around. So make room for these mistakes, imperfections, failure, and give yourself the benefit of the doubt and embrace uncertainties. Sometimes it's okay to cut yourself some slack when you fall short on your promises to yourself instead of beating yourself up, because it helps nothing other than making you feel worse about yourself than you already are. True. When you expect yourself to be perfect and achieve every single goal you set, you will never feel good enough, which in turn drains you and lowers your self-esteem and confidence to try again. But when you forgive yourself and remind yourself that you tried, you did your very best, you honor yourself, you love yourself no matter what, and you let yourself off the hook, you are able to move forward with ease and grace. And you are able to try again and again and again. This means honoring where you are now and the person you are right now and the person that you are becoming. Knowing that you are not perfect, you still have a lot to work on yourself. We all do, but choosing to focus on your strength and replacing any negative thoughts and accept who you are, what you offer, what you bring to the table, and not afraid to eat alone, you believe that you and your dreams are worth it. And you believe that you are worth it. Show up for yourself by giving yourself the same forgiveness and compassion and kindness and love you would give others. Because I promise no one else is criticizing you the same way that you are criticizing yourself right now, because we truly are our own worst enemy. So it's important to be reasonable and treat yourself with respect. Empower yourself to make your life better rather than wasting your energy beating yourself up, because it's not going to make your life any better. It's not going to make the current situation any better, and certainly is not going to make you any better. Second, say yes to yourself. Saying yes means saying yes to anything that feels like you, and you just have to trust your own madness. And saying no to anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Be authentically true to yourself. Start saying yes to what your heart is telling you. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was recording guest episodes, and while I was waiting for my next guest, I had a window of an hour time. And I was like, okay, what can I do for an hour, right? What can I do for this 1 hour? I look at my to-do list, things that I had to do on that day, and I just didn't feel like doing any of them. So I asked myself, Joyan, what do you need? What do you want to do right now? What makes you happy? What do you need right now? And it was so loud and clear. I wanted to sing. Yes, in fact, I love singing. I know it's something new, and it doesn't mean that I'm good at singing, but I'm not that bad, right? And when I was in my early 20s, I love singing, but I have not done it for years because now I have other passion, and singing is just not something I would put on my to-do list because it's not something that I had to do, right? But that afternoon, I followed my heart, I listened, and I sang my heart out. And I had never ever felt so happy for so freaking long. It was just pure happiness, pure joy. And because I was so freaking happy for no reason, I was vibrating at such a high frequency. I actually attracted something positive. Guys, I'm telling you, law of attraction is real. It's always working for you. It's always working in the background. It's always working for you if you know how to make it work for you. So what I'm saying, sometimes you just have to do things that bring you real joy, pleasure, and happiness. You don't have to try so hard and work so hard. When you're saying yes to yourself, you are expanding instead of shrinking. And you are continuously challenging yourself to redefine what your comfort zone looks like. And by saying yes to yourself, I mean literally saying yes, verbally say yes. And what do I mean by that? Over the course of my entrepreneurship journey, I've learned to appreciate being comfortable with being uncomfortable. When I first started my business, I immediately knew that I wanted to be a public speaker to inspire and empower others. And now I often find myself speaking in front of hundreds of people because I embrace saying yes in my first year. I kept making videos and speaking in front of the camera, even if there was no audience. I filmed myself and I put it out there over and over and over again. And I started attracting speaking opportunities, and I accepted every speaking engagement and audience facing opportunity that came my way, whether it's an interview, a podcast, a live, a summit, an event, big or small, without hesitation, I said yes. I said, hell yes. So this is what I work with my clients inside my program, right? You have to first know who you want to become. You have to first know who is the person you want to become. The next version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Visualize yourself being that person and start showing up as that version of yourself and behaving and acting like that version of yourself. Because having faith in who you are and showing up to your life each day is you giving yourself the permission to attract the life that you want to live and live the life you want to attract. And saying yes to yourself also means investing in yourself. And I know it might be the scariest thing or the most uncomfortable action to take for some of you, but you are your biggest investment, period. Because you wake up with yourself in the morning and you go to sleep with yourself at night. At the end of the day, only you and you are responsible for you. And that is pretty scary and empowering at the same time. Depends on how you see it. As it's all up to you to decide how you want to live your life and how you want to show up to the world. So embrace this responsibility and invest in yourself and say yes to yourself and see your life change in front of your very own eyes. Finally, you have to celebrate yourself. Imagine the last time you celebrated yourself. You are probably thinking or picturing your last birthday, your wedding day, graduation, a job promotion, or perhaps the start of a new job. All of these events. Of course, they are worthy of celebration, but you are worthy of celebrating every day, not just when you hit a major milestone. Because when you do, you're actually telling yourself that you only deserve to be celebrated when you achieve something big or significant. And you are attaching your own self-worth to external achievement or goals or validation instead of the core of who you are. And since it's difficult for many people, especially women, to celebrate ourselves because it's not something we are taught to do. In fact, many of us were taught not to celebrate ourselves. It's time to forget that nonsense and BS and start celebrating yourself right here and right now. And let's talk about why is it important, right? To celebrate yourself every single day. No need to wait for that big promotion or big accomplishment in your life or a new baby, because how many babies can you have? If you haven't noticed, right, everything I have mentioned has been about your relationship with yourself, your self-image. But in order for these things to work, you have to accept and love yourself for who you are now, not who you want to be. Yes, I said show up as the version that you want to grow into. You know, it's like when you are doing visualization or meditation, you're feeling great about the future version of yourself, right? Who has already manifested all your desires. But the moment you open your eyes, you immediately hate everything you see in your life or the person you see in the mirror. It's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. So how do you celebrate yourself? You can reflect on and write down your small wins at the end of every day before you go to sleep. Like to me, it looks like I did my 1 hour yoga today, even though I woke out late. I read a chapter of a book. I finally replied to that message or email that was long overdue. Who can relate to this? Or I took myself for a walk instead of staying home. And then learn to share your wins and accept compliments. Whether it's on social media, in a group chat, or doing a phone call with your mom, or your best friend, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or in a mastermind, share your wins with your friends and family and people around you and your community. You know, I did this with my Facebook community all the time. I will ask everyone to share their wins in a post. Remember, it's not bragging. You sharing your wins is giving others the permission to share theirs. Because many people are just feeling the same resistance as you do. So you sharing yours is telling them, hey, look, it's okay to share our wins and empower one another. Because when you overcome your fear and step outside your comfort zone to do something and you did it successfully, you actually inspire others to do the same. You are telling them it's possible. And if I can do it, you can do it too. And after you share, be prepared to accept the compliments that come rolling in. And this might just be the hardest part for some of you. Some people are just uncomfortable with receiving compliments, and it all comes down to their self-image. But it's nothing to be shy about. If you're not used to it, you are just not used to it. You might have to practice accepting compliments. Just say thank you and full stop. Thank you and full stop. You don't have to justify why you deserve it. So these are the 3 biggest ways you can show up for yourself on a daily basis. And if you made it to this part of this episode, you already showed me that you show up for yourself today. And I am so freaking proud of you. And I want you to celebrate yourself right now. Whether it's to give yourself a high five, a pat on the back, or a little silly dance, or order your favorite food, I will leave it to you. It's my hope that you will also experience the empowering feeling when you show up for yourself day after day and stay committed to yourself, to your growth, to your joy and happiness and success. And with that, here comes the end of this episode. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to my world and let's stay connected. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at joyan.chan for more updates and insights. And make sure to subscribe so you will never miss another episode. And soon I will be recording our 100th episode this month. And I welcome any ideas and inspiration because I have not been feeling inspired lately, like I said. So I welcome any ideas to what you want me to talk about, or anyone you want me to bring to the show or bring back to the show, or any question you have for me. And until next time, keep showing up. The world needs you and you need you. Thanks again to our sponsor, Get the Law of Attraction. Follow them on Instagram for daily spiritual enrichment and encouragement, especially if your spiritual ice cream cone is melting a bit. You will get a fresh scoop of your favorite flavor of spiritual encouragement and insights. Find Joy with Joyan listeners will get $25 off when you go to their website and use promo code Joyan, Joyan, when you sign up for their Law of Attraction course and gratitude journal. Once again, that is Joyan, Joyan, for $25 off, and their links are in the show note below. Thank you again for tuning to Find Joy with Joyan podcast. If you love and enjoy today's episode, you can help support this podcast in one of three ways. 1. Take a screenshot of this episode and share it on your IG story and tag me at joyan.chan so I can repost and connect with you. 2. Share this podcast with a friend or family member. And 3. Leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts so we continue to grow and reach more listeners worldwide. And make sure you also subscribe so you don't miss out on any episode coming Wednesday. And my joyful friends, until next time, keep showing up. Success doesn't show up for you until you show up and pursue your own success. Again, thanks for being here, and I will see you soon in the next episode.